On my wedding day, my only son and his wife mocked my new husband in front of 400 people. They called him trash. Not a stepfather. Garbage. The entire ballroom heard it. Her family's laughter felt like physical blows, and I felt the floor vanish beneath my feet. In that moment, I did something I never thought I had the courage to do. I stood up, trembling with a fury I didn't recognize, and I threw every single one of them out of my reception. And then my husband looked at me. He had this profound calm, and he said something that changed the course of my life forever. "Sweetheart," he said, "I'm a billionaire." But that was just the beginning. What happened next was something none of them could have ever imagined. Welcome to my channel. I share stories of second chances, of life turning on a single moment. If you're new here, hit subscribe. This one, you'll want to hear until the very end. Let me take you back. 3 hours earlier, I, Chloe, 61 years old, a widow for 15 long years, stood in the most beautiful event space I'd ever seen. And I'd seen a lot of them from the other side of a mop bucket. 400 guests, the best musicians, a caterer people wrote articles about. I paid for it all with my life savings. Every penny I'd scraped together cleaning offices, scrubbing floors in buildings that glittered with other people's wealth. After a decade and a half of silence, of empty beds and emptier holidays, I had found love. And I wanted it to be flawless. Elias Vance. Eli. He stood there waiting for me. Silver hair neatly combed, hands rough from what I thought was a lifetime of honest, modest work. He lived in a small apartment, drove a car that was older than some of the wedding centerpieces. But when he looked at me, I felt seen. Not as a mother, or a widow or a cleaning lady. Just as Chloe. That was my everything. Then I heard it. The first laugh. Sharp, mocking, venomous. It came from the third row. My son, Darius. My little boy, all grown up into a man who valued the price tag on his Italian suit more than the heart beating beneath it. Next to him, Tasha. From the moment she married into our family, she made it her mission to remind me of my place, somewhere beneath her designer heels. "Look at that," Tasha whispered, loud enough to carry. "The old woman is marrying a pauper." Her mother's gold bracelets clanked as she laughed into her hand. Poor Chloe. At her age, she can't catch anything better. My cheeks burned. I focused on the minister's face like a lifeline. Eli just squeezed my hand. A gentle press that said, "I'm here." But the storm was just brewing. The officiant spoke about love and sacred bonds. I tried to anchor myself in the words. But the commentary from my own family section was a relentless, ugly chorus. "Did you see his shoes? Thrift store special. My gardener dresses better." They were vultures, and my happiness was their carcass. My heart wasn't just breaking, it was being pulverized. But Eli remained serene, dignified. His calm was the only thing holding me upright. Then it was time for our vows. Eli's voice was firm, clear, and it filled the room. "Chloe, from the day I met you, I knew you were the woman I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. I don't have material wealth to offer you, but I give you my whole heart, my eternal loyalty, and my promise to make you happy every single day I have left." I had tears in my eyes. Then I heard it. A loud, disgusted laugh that cut through the silence like a shard of glass. My son, Darius, stood up, swaying. He'd been drinking since before the ceremony. "This is pathetic," he announced to the entire room. No shame, just pure contempt. 400 people stopped breathing. The minister froze. Eli's hand tightened around mine, but his face, it was almost compassionate. "Darius, please," I tried to say, but my voice was a shattered thing. "No, Mom. Someone has to tell the truth. You worked your whole life. Dad left you comfortable, and this is what you do. Marry a nobody who probably just wants your house." Tasha stood up, a vicious smile on her lips. "Darius is right, Chloe. That's not a stepfather. That's trash you picked up off the street." That sound, their laughter, it was the sound of my old life breaking. But it wasn't sadness that rose in me. It was fury. A clean, white-hot rage I never knew I possessed. It shot from my toes to the crown of my head. I let go of Eli's hand. "You know what, Darius? You're right. Someone does have to tell the truth here." The silence was so thick you could choke on it. "The truth is I spent 35 years married to your father. 35 years of 12-hour days cleaning other people's homes, so you could have the best of everything. I broke my back and my spirit for you. And when your father died, you left me in a silence, so deep I thought I'd drown in it. How many Christmases alone? How many birthdays without a call? You used my loneliness as a weapon, and my bank account as a convenience. I turned to Tasha. And you. You called me desperate. Old. You said I grabbed the first man who paid me attention. You're wrong. I found the first man in 15 years who looked at me and saw a person, not a problem or a purse. I walked back to Eli. I took both his hands. My voice dropped to a whisper just for him. Are you sure? My family is this. They don't deserve to be here. Eli smiled. It was a small, mysterious smile. Chloe, my love, I have never been more sure of anything. I turned to the crowd, my voice projecting with an authority that came from the deepest part of my soul. Darius, Tasha, your entire family, get out of my wedding. Get out of my life. Now. Chaos erupted. Protests. The dramatic, noisy exit of the Jenkins clan. Darius's final, hateful glare. The door slammed. I stood amidst the wreckage of my perfect day, trembling. Eli simply walked over and embraced me. I'd just lost my son, my grandchildren. I was sure I'd ruined everything. Then Eli held me and said, I'm so proud of you. And he took a deep breath. Chloe, there's something I need to tell you. I'm not who you think I am. I stared at him, confused and afraid. He looked into my eyes, his own filled with a gentle, profound love. Sweetheart, I'm a billionaire. The words made no sense. They bounced around my skull. Billionaire. He lived in a small apartment. He drove that old car. After my first wife died, he explained, his voice soft with old pain. I saw how money poisoned everything. I wanted someone to love me, not my portfolio. So I chose a simple life. Until I met you. You loved the man with calloused hands. You were the most genuine person I've ever known. The wedding continued, beautiful and true. But my mind reeled, and my heart ached for Darius. In the weeks that followed, Eli's lawyer, Mark, kept us updated. Darius's life was imploding. Debts from shady investments. Loan sharks. Tasha left him, took the kids. He was drowning. And he knew. He'd found out who Eli was. The messages started pouring in, not to me, to Eli. Not apologies. Demands. As your wife's son, you have a moral obligation to help. It was a knife to the heart. My son only wanted the money he'd always valued over me. Eli offered to fix it all. $500,000 is nothing, he said. But I said no. For the first time, I said no to my son. If we save him now, I told Eli, my voice shaking, he'll never learn. He has to hit the bottom. It was the hardest decision of my life. I went to see him. The place smelled of despair and stale beer. He was a shell of himself. He cried. He begged. He said dangerous men were threatening him. The maternal part of me screamed to fix it, but the woman who had found her strength stood firm. I'm not giving you money, Darius, but I'm giving you a lawyer. And a choice. You can start from zero. The right way. Or not. It's on you. I handed him a business card. He took it, his hands trembling. Will you ever forgive me? He whispered, his eyes hollow. I don't know. Show me the man I raised is still in there. Prove it. I walked away from my sobbing son. It felt like walking on broken glass. But for the first time, I was walking toward my own future, not cleaning up his past. Months passed. Eli and I built a life, a real one, full of travel and purpose. We started a foundation to help women like I was, and slowly reports trickled in. Darius filed for bankruptcy. He got a job, a real one. He started going to therapy. One evening, a news clip played on our television. There was Darius, dressed simply, speaking to a group at a community center. I valued things over people. I hurt the woman who loved me most. My mother didn't rescue me with a check. She rescued me by letting me fall. It was the toughest love I've ever known. He paid back every cent he'd ever taken from me. Not the money Eli had covered, but the emotional debt. He sent a long, handwritten letter. No asks. Just remorse. We started talking. Once a week. It was awkward, painful, but it was real. A year later, we renewed our vows. Just family. The real kind. Darius was there, with my grandchildren. He shook Eli's hand and said, "You're a good man. Thank you for loving my mother." My story isn't about a billionaire in disguise. It's about finding your voice when everyone tries to silence you. It's about the hardest love, the kind that says no, so someone can learn to say yes to being better. I lost my son to his pride, but in letting him go, I gave us both a chance to find something real again. If you're in a place where you feel unheard or disrespected, especially by family, find your strength. Set your boundary. Your happiness is not negotiable. Thank you for listening to my story.